Who's scoring big in the NBA this season? You are. With all the new ways to get in on the action of DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, from Monster Slams to dishing the rock to cleaning the glass, get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props.
Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking how many points your favorite player will have. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. The Lakers are heating up, man. Definitely keeping an eye on Luka prop bets. Is this your first time? Here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
Take it to the rack with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Who's scoring big in the
NBA?
Welcome to Jenkins and Jones.
Oh, I gotta eat it, nigga. God damn.
Fun police are here. We're live. Welcome to
Nigga.
Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network.
More. There was more. Anyway, fuck that nigga, man. Swear to God, bro. Anyway.
The podcast that gets not recorded in the 30 seconds before the podcast starts getting recorded would get us arrested so frequently. You know what I mean? It's just
You're uncut.
Uncut Jenkins Jones.
Spotify
Free Rose.
Welcome to Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Tuesday, February 18th, and this is our Love is Blind Season 8 recap of the pod episodes, which, advance warning, we did not find that entertaining, so we are we may stray a little bit. I'll be turning it over
Stray a wee bit.
As always. Jenkins and Jones, hosted by Dragonfly Jones, aka Tyler.
Hey everybody, have a gun.
LeJethro Jenkins, aka Captain America.
What's that, Bubbles? Come on, man.
I'm gonna be aka Mike.
Nigga Bird. I like Nigga Bird, though. I love me some Nigga Bird. Now, that's fire. I ain't mad at the Anthony Mackie shit because after somebody said Nigga Bird, I'm like, shit.
That shit makes me laugh every time.
Hey, I'm a superhero named Nigga Bird. That's kind of hard, G. It's kind of hard. It's racist as fuck, but it's hard, though. You can't lie. You can't lie.
Tyler, can you, I know you don't have it in front of you, but can you tell people about that tweet for people who are like new to the show? That's one of the funniest tweets of all time to me, bro. That your timeline accidentally spoiled Avengers Endgame for someone.
Yeah, we were talking about Nigga Bird for some reason, and someone hit me up and said, you know, when Avengers Endgame dropped, I muted everything because I knew I wasn't going to be able to see it that weekend. He said, all for it to get spoiled when someone mentioned to you how Nigga Bird picked up the shield. Didn't mute that one.
I legitimately didn't mute that one all the time.
Didn't think about that one, brother.
Didn't mute that one.
Didn't mute that one. Wasn't
was
on the
he
list.
white? Was he white?
No, he was
okay,
black.
that'd be funny too. All right, yeah.
Was it? There was an athlete too, wasn't there, who tweeted "R.I.P. Tony Stark" and he spelled Tony with an
Shady.
E. Oh yeah. Shady McCoy.
Tweeted that bitch like 9:30 p.m. Eastern time the day it dropped. Like, god damn, dog. Yeah.
Oh, I miss that version of Twitter. All right, we're produced as always by the equally lovely, equally talented. Our writer dies, Josh Rodriguez, Jackson Saffon.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Tyler, Josh had on some merchandise from another podcast when he logged on today. John and I
with no shirt under it.
We're so offended.
No shirt under
so
it.
offended.
He had raw chest on the fucking. No, just playing.
Don't do my man like that.
Zipped the hoodie and it was titties, nigga.
He had
He
a
got
shirt
gay
off.
buttholes.
It's off. I didn't realize what I was doing.
Oh, it's all good, man.
All right, Tyler, we turned the pod over to your capable hands to walk us through the storylines of what we're able to find entertainment in the first 6 episodes of season 8 of Love is Blind.
Well, can't ignore the elephant in the room about this season. This season is a 2-pack of ass. It just has to be said. It's horrible. It is horrible. It's not entertaining at all. Listen, bro, like I said, I tune in to Love is Blind for black people and crazy people, and it is severely lacking both this season. We don't have enough black people. We've got one couple, and we'll talk about them later. There's not enough crazy. It's just bland white people for the most part, and that's not a recipe for good reality, bro. You need some melanin and you need some crazy. It's that simple.
It doesn't have to be in the same person, but both elements have to be present. I will say, having been to Minneapolis, it is they're putting the reality in reality television. There are a lot of boring white people in Minneapolis.
They should have done Milwaukee. Have they done Milwaukee yet?
No.
They should have done
black
Milwaukee.
as hell, yeah.
That would have went crazy. And it got the this brand of white folks too. It would have been a good, decent mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
good balance. But
nothing really happened in the pods this season. So we'll just talk about the couples.
I fuck with it, bro. I fuck with that.
Not even Tyler's fault.
It's so bad, bro.
It's so funny.
Probably 7 hours. They're a little over an hour each. Probably 7 hours of television.
But that's why it's crazy. That's why it's crazy.
Really.
They serve that up to you on. I mean, we were talking about the All-Star game weekend, bro. At least they're dunking basketballs in the All-Star game.
It sounded like Tyler was wrapping up the show. He's like, "Yeah, so
Hey,
that's it. That's it for the week.
that's it.
The season bland as
Oh,
fuck,
folks.
dog. But
we can talk about
yeah.
the
So let's just talk about the couples, bro. Okay, so the first couple that got fucking engaged, like second episode, like bro, like Monica and Joey. Joey said, everyone says I have golden retriever energy. I feel like that's a little Josh Allen appropriation, but you know, I'll take it with him because he's a really likable dude. I like Joey. And I like Monica, and they're one of those couples like you know, we were talking in the group chat earlier about Lauren and Cameron from season 1 and Taylor and Garrett from last season, where it's like, yeah, y'all are perfect for each other. There's nothing that's gonna derail this. That's what that couple feels like.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like Joey is like the exact inverse, but like still in the same category as Wreck-It Ralph from last season. Like this big lumbering, like kind of weird talking white man with the long, but like he's so nice and the opposite of evil Wreck-It Ralph.
He's a Joey.
Season.
He's exactly
He's
what
Joey.
you picture
He's a
when
Joey.
you hear of a Joey. You know,
He is a
mean?
Joey.
He corrects people if they call him Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a Joey.
Understandably so.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a Joey. He's not a Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really like Joey. Like, and Joey, he's like a vulnerable dude. Like, you know, they had some really vulnerable conversations where he was talking about how you know, in high school he struggled with like self-confidence and all that. Then he started playing football, found a purpose, got some D1, you know, got a D1 scholarship and all that. He's exactly like Wreck-It Ralph before he found out how trash Wreck-It Ralph was. Like he is the lovable meathead of this season, and he seems like a legitimately good dude. So I'm rooting for that couple.
We got time though. We'll see.
Yes, we shall see.
Lovable meathead is like a top 5 white archetype to me, though. Do you know what I mean? That's like I'm severely over-indexed among my white friends with white meatheads, so I'm predisposed to like
because
Joey.
there's so many white meatheads who don't have that lovable attribute, who are just annoying white meatheads. When you find the lovable one, it's like, oh wow, what a treat!
What a
you know?
treat.
That's the homie.
That's a golden retriever right there. Okay, next couple, Ben and Sarah. Oh, okay.
It's hilarious.
What a treat. Ben and Sarah. Ben and Sarah. There was this couple had some. There was some tension between them. They butted heads a bit, but it was in a good way, right? Like, okay, they're in Minneapolis, and Sarah is very progressive. I'd say, like, very tuned into politics. Very you know, adamantly left leaning. You know what I mean? And she talks to this dude, Ben, who's just a total, I don't keep up with politics. The bro is from Minneapolis and said he didn't hear about the George Floyd murder. Dog.
I mean, that's white privilege, though.
She had to explain to him that it hit close to home. That is white
You
privilege.
can just move a particular way. Go ahead. You saw it. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just saying, like, I just don't buy it, bro. Like, you can talk about white privilege, whatever else. Like, you know, maybe legitimately he's saying he doesn't remember the specific name, but like, you don't know why everything that happened in your city for a month happened. You know what I mean? I just don't buy it at all.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah. I mean,
That's Republican without wanting to admit you're Republican. That's how I take it.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought it was kind of strange how she really questioned him pretty hard about it, which was the right thing to do. But then she ended up still
like he proposed like right after that
getting engaged to
conversation,
him.
and she was like, "Yes."
She was like, I don't know about this. This is like a pretty stark difference here. And then she's like,
But if like, why would he propose too? Like, if he was Republican, like, that's a wild. I mean, maybe it isn't that wild amongst white people, but like, if I was to marry somebody that wasn't white and be Republican and them not, I think it would be. I don't know if that works. You know what I'm saying?
Every couple we know where the husband and the wife are super far apart on politics is they're both white.
Okay, yeah, that's
and we don't. And I would not say, it's not like we don't know a ton of people like that, but they're every time they're
out
white.
there.
Every time they're white.
And I think that is what.
Yes, totally. They're like, we're not participating in this. My mom actually.
We don't need to make it part of our.
But my mom actually just like told her she's up in the Pacific Northwest and she has a friend from Long Beach who's up there with her husband, and she just told her friend like, I'm not coming over. Like she just, if you want to meet me at the bookstore or something cool, but I'm not going to your house anymore. I can't deal with your husband. Like,
yeah.
And her friend is like, what? Like, why can't everyone just? And my mom's like, because I can't. Like, I'm not listening to it. Like, I'm not seeing it on your TV. I'm not she's like, it's not something I could put aside and be like, well, but he's blah, 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 blah.
I think like your mom's different, obviously, what I'm saying? She raised you, but I feel like amongst us, like, even with Robert, like, what I'm saying? If I was a Republican, that's part of my personality, nigga. That ain't got, I just can't be a Republican and then John is different. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I feel like, when we looking at relationships and shit, like how you view things as in the world is part of your personality, and being Republican and Democrat is a big part of how you view things. You know what I mean? So we can't ignore that shit. But yeah, it's interesting that maybe she thinks like that. We're like, he's Republican, but he's still a good guy, and he, like all the other things that she cares about. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, Sarah admits that she grew up conservative in a conservative, like, church-going family. She said what radicalized her was her sister being gay, and how she had to stand with her sister, and she was talking about how like I mentioned, she was from a church-going family, and she was like, okay, church teaches all this love thy neighbor stuff, but you're telling me my sister's going to hell. And she was like, that really kind of, yeah. So that's what radicalized Sarah. So maybe she thinks there's some radicalization that can be done with Ben. Maybe that's an angle that she's seeing things from. So
I think that it's a common dynamic. I do think of like and what's interesting about her is it's not like she's disinterested, because most of the people I know where they're far apart, it's like the one of them is very into politics and the other is not. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't really pay attention to stuff or whatever, which is you guys correctly identified as obviously a form of privilege. But I think like there's a lot of people with that story that it's like, well, and then my family, my family member is gay, or this person that I know. Like, that's why I do think like people actually getting to know different types of people is so important, because that is what radicalizes you, is like, oh, okay, well, maybe you have a white teacher at a school, but she has black students that she connects with on a human level. So when she sees these stories about police violence or whatever else, it's not a story on the news. Like, when you hear religious people talking about gay people, that's not just, oh, they're talking about my sister. Like, so, I feel like that is one of the things that genuinely interests me about this show, is people do move in prescribed circles to where they usually don't encounter a lot of people who are so dissimilar to them. You know what I mean? But I do feel like you saw a lot about the racial politics of America on who's able to just be like, yeah, but that's not that important to us. Yeah. Even though it's so important to us, it's not that important to us.
The story about you talking about her saying that, they were saying her sister was going to hell, and it was like, why? My oldest friend is Palestinian, and I remember in church they told us to call somebody who's not a believer and talk to him. So we're in church and I called my homie, like, I wanted to just talk to you about this. You know what I'm saying? Have you met my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Whatever.
Woof,
and so
brother.
He was like,
Woof.
yeah, no, but I hit him up. I hit him
cute.
up. I mean, I said, I know, he's, you believe in this, but I just love you and wanted to express. You said, thank you for calling me. I really appreciate that. He was like, I'm open to listening, you know what I mean? But, he has different beliefs. You feel me? He wasn't as religious at the time. You know what I mean? But him saying that made me think, so this person's going to hell?
Right.
Like, this person that was, like, you know what I mean? Like, a loving God is sending that person to hell?
Right.
It didn't make sense. And then something else happened to that. And then I didn't go to church anymore. But but that set me off. That set, you know, like my mind moving a little bit amongst other things. But that really like hit me like, wait, no, one of my other best friends, like he was Japanese, didn't believe, you know what I'm saying? And they're saying he's going to hell. That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? So,
and then you're looking at some of the
definitely
people
resonates with me. Yeah. And I'm looking at some of the people that were, I mean, when I'm like, nigga,
you're going there and he's going there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how that makes sense. So anyway, yeah.
No one has more patience than Muslim people in America, bro.
He's not Muslim. He was Muslim. He stopped fucking with that too.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
But I just mean like if you're Palestinian or whatever, like my you know, my Indian friend in high school, Akbar, like just so many well-meaning people, just like
I used to give him a hard time during Ramadan. I'm in that motherfucker. You just square. The worst, like my nigga. You sure?
The worst,
you know what I mean?
Good-hearted bullying.
Very refreshing, nigga. You know what I mean? He looked at me like, man, get so goofy ass. You know, like, but I mean, he was hella devout. Like his dad's name was Ramadan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, very devout at the time. You know, he had some situations that went on where he didn't like, I don't fuck with this, but he was super devout. But
I feel like the worst good-natured bullying that happens in diverse friend groups is the one Muslim kid during Ramadan is like, God damn, we were, for sure, bro. I don't look back on that.
Ignorant. I'm not proud of that at all.
I don't look back on that fondly at all, bro.
And he's one of my best friends, and he's my oldest friend. I can't believe he's still my motherfucking friend. But that shows how understanding he was. And you sending him down there, oh, bro, the shit don't make no sense. You feel me?
Or my friend Akbar trying to explain to me like how many things that pork is in. I was like, what you mean you can't eat Starburst? And he's like, remember when I explained to you what gelatin is made of?
Sounds like some bullshit.
You fucking idiot. You know, you fucking idiot. And I was like, oh, right. You know, like we got pizza over. It was cheese pizza, but it had been cut. And so he's like, I can't eat it if it's been cut because they use the same pizza roller to cut the pepperoni and the cheese. And you're like, as a 16-year-old, you're like, oh, I live in a box this big.
Yeah, man. He opened my this last thing. I know we got to get on with the show, but like he opened my eyes to he's the one that told me about his grandmother being, you know, kicked out of her home at gunpoint.
Right.
And I remember thinking like, but why doesn't anybody do anything? Where are the fucking Avengers? You know, I'm in middle school. I'm like 13. You feel me? Like, what the fuck is going on?
You were ready to pick the shield up.
You know I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is going on? So it helped me to realize how the world really is. He opened my eyes to that. You know what I mean? So
for sure, for sure.
Love my man Yazin, man. That's my nigga. You feel me?
Nigga bird. But
Love that. Nice little button, Tyler. Let's get back to the show. Fuck it.
I would just argue there is not a funnier combination of two words you could put together.
No.
It's every time bird. It's so funny, bro.
All right. Next couple we have here, is David and Lauren. All right, so, you know, I told you there's not any crazy people on here. There's not any, like, real dickheads. David had me fooled during his intros, bro. Like, this dude came out the gate, and his fucking icebreaker when he went in the pod and met a girl would be like, okay, what's wrong with you? Why are you here? like that was how he came out. And he asked this one girl, how old are you? And she said 30. And he was like, oh, your most attractive years are behind you, huh? And I was like, wow, we might have a dickhead. We might have fireworks. But no, that was just an icebreaker. He's a really good dude. And
you think so?
I think he's trying to be a good dude. Let me say that. I'll give him credit for that. Like he's in like medical sales and shit.
Yeah, he's
Wasn't he lying and shit about like and like pitting the two girls against each other a little bit? Didn't he lie about
Molly?
Yeah. He said that one person was his number one and she wasn't.
Everybody.
Yeah, everyone.
But I think he was.
But yeah, he's you know said himself like you know he's in medical sales where he's dealing with like Botox and shit that's rooted in superficiality and people's vanities, and he's flat out admit like you know he's a vain superficial dude too, and he's trying to get over that shit, and that's why he's on the show, right? But him and what's the shorty name? Lauren. Yeah, there was that little love triangle going on.
He said, "I'm gonna get over being superficial by going on a reality TV dating show."
Yeah, that's how it works, Mike. Didn't you know?
Yeah, there was there was him and Molly. Molly was crazy as hell, but she was interesting, bro. Like she was like, I heard on like a Joe Rogan podcast about how like aliens might be controlling the weather.
Wait, that was
that
Meg,
was Meg?
I think. That was Meg. I
That
think.
was
Right.
Meg. That was
Yeah,
Meg.
that was Meg. Goddamn. Yeah.
Molly was the one who's like, I've never been in
Yes,
a
that's
Yeah,
right. That's the
yeah,
girl who
yeah,
never
yeah,
had
yeah.
a.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
whoa, like
Yeah.
I will say I don't fuck with Joe Rogan, but if somebody says that, I want to hear how ridiculous it's going to be. You know what I mean? Because it's always going to be a crazy statement after. So I'm all ears. What
took
you
it- she
saying,
made it pretty
but,
ridiculous.
I have so many friends of all races who listen to Joe Rogan and associated type shit, bro. It's like it's that
it's a
that
rough
horse
time
is out of the
period.
barn. That
It's
horse
a
is
rough
out of the
time
barn.
period, bro. I remember like
I got a
niggas talking
friend.
about-
I got a black friend sharing stuff. Have you heard about the like ancient world conspiracy theory or something? But
No,
it's
but
like
I said, I'm
it's like, look at
interested.
these rocks in Utah. This used to be a table for giants, like that type of shit, bro. You're
I
like,
want to
what?
hear it. I'm not going to believe it, of course, but I want to hear the story. You know what I mean? I want to hear the end. But yeah, dog. Yeah. Crazy,
This
crazy.
mountain clearly used to be a computer for giant aliens. You can fucking see it right there, like that type of shit. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Crazy.
for sure.
I had homies that believed deer antler was the key to like the key remedy. So like ground up deer antler.
I
put
feel like
in
deer antler
water.
was what
20
people what they
2017.
said about weed, what they told
Yeah.
Tyler about weed, that's a gateway drug. That's what deer antler was for the manosphere.
Yeah, for sure. It started off at deer antler.
Yeah.
You know, and then like the coffees with the butter in them and shit. They got
Yeah.
like what is it? Yeah.
Yeah, now you're putting
yeah.
but now you're getting some sunlight on your butthole, bro. Like
Yeah,
you-
right,
you were
right,
just snorting
right.
deer antler a couple months ago.
They ease you into it, but they got you there. They got that brown eye up to the open sun. You know what I mean? Just took 7 years, but they got you there. How did we get here?
Yeah, I didn't fuck with Dave though.
Yeah,
I didn't fuck with Dave. And I thought I mean, a lot of the like meet and greet proposals were really awkward. I thought his and Lauren's was super awkward. I feel like they both looked at each other and were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I guess we got to
Yeah.
do a thing now, or do you got to propose? Is that how this goes? Or he was like, "You really look like a teacher," and she was like, "I'm not sure what that means," and he was like, "Me either. I also don't know what that means."
You really look like a teacher. That's funny
Brain
as hell.
fart. Yeah, like just slipped out. You know what I mean?
And he was like, yeah, me either."
That's never good though. As much as it shouldn't be that way.
As much as I
Yeah.
love teachers, it's
And
just
as
not
some
a.
teachers
It's
who
not a
I've been,
I
but
don't-
as an adult, if you say that, a
Right.
particular perception is going to come to mind. You know what I mean?
100%.
You in the
My
JC
wife
Penney
is a
fucking
teacher.
cardigan. You know what
I
I mean?
would never tell her you look like a teacher
right,
today.
right.
Right,
It's like telling somebody,
right.
"Oh,
God, I
those
forgot about
shoes
that
look
one.
comfortable." Like like a woman, like say, you got some big beefy ass, goofy ass
Right,
shoes
right.
on. That's how it's going to come across.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if the shoes are comfortable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't say that shit.
All right. Next couple. We finally got some melanin here. The only melanin we got on this motherfucker. Devin and Virginia. There was a little triangle going on there with Devin and Virginia and Brittany. Where Brittany. But yeah, bro, look, I'm gonna tell you this. Once Virginia said that she was a former NBA
Yep.
cheerleader, I was like, dog, he's got his mind made up.
Decisions made.
Right? A former NBA cheerleader who has a PhD and is a doctor. Brittany didn't stand a chance, dog. She
Literally,
did not stand a
nobody's
chance.
dumb enough to not choose that. There is
Yeah.
not a person dumb enough on the planet that would hear that and not choose it.
That's
You know
like
what I mean?
that's hitting on 20 in blackjack.
Right,
Like, that's-
right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
so.
you really think the chance that other card
Yeah. Brittany might be great and a better fit even, but you have to try this. You know what I mean? And this is the only
It's
way
like
you're
one
gonna
of the-
find that if you're that nigga too. You're not gonna be out in the real world finding
Right.
your PhD that was a
Yeah.
ex cheerleader. You know what I mean? Come on.
It's also one of the only jobs that you can have that exposes what you
Period.
look like in the show. And
Yeah.
you're not, and there's no like weird, like I was trying to tell you, but without telling you, it's like, that's her actual life. She actually was an ex-NBA dancer. And so it's like, but that's the one, it's like a golden ticket. It's like, well, got my answer.
I was talking to
you know?
Tyler. I was like, she should have been able to say that.
They should outlaw that.
That was cheating.
It's cheating.
They
It feels like
tainted.
cheating. It's
The
like
game
legal
was
cheating.
tainted.
Yeah.
You know, she found the loophole for real.
James Harden it. She's just playing within the rules. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
But...
and at the fact that she's a doctor, like she's in like medical terminology doctor, some shit like that. She explained, not exactly a physician or what have you, but
Yeah,
she has a PhD.
yeah,
She got a
yeah,
PhD. She's making bread, I'm sure. And this dude is a high school basketball coach. I know this motherfucker felt like he hit the lotto. You got a former NBA cheerleader who is a doctor. Come on, dog.
He hit the lottery twice.
Yeah.
You see how he tried to change up how he defined what he was doing a little bit, though? The first person he talked to when he told it was very upfront. He used like, a different set of words when she told him she was a PhD. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When he defined what he was, it was like, all right, I see. But hey, good. He had to rebrand it a little bit for that one, brother. You know what I mean?
He
had to dress it up.
Same
you know
thing.
What I mean?
He
Little garnish.
did it both times with Virginia, I think. I think the first time when he was talking to Brittany, he was like, I had a very severe Advil addiction. It was crippling. I could not do anything. And then with Virginia, he was like, I really went through some tough times. I had an injury. It really set me back. And I was like, interesting reframe again.
Hey, know your audience, my nigga.
Yeah,
smart man.
But, yeah, and so they met and the chemistry was flowing there, bro. Like Virginia has revealed to Devin that every relationship she was in, she was with a dickhead. She was like, she's never been with a nice guy. And Devin seems to be like a pretty thoughtful dude. Like he wrote her like a letter, the night before that he read to her before he proposed to her and shit. And like I said, when they connected, it seemed like she was really into the dude. He better not fuck this one up because he outkicked this coverage for sure, dog. Yeah. So
the one thing I will say about Devin is, and this is just sort of like it exists in a lot of places in culture and still in 2025 or whatever. But I just want to say that if Devin did this, and if this has happened to you, and someone tells you that they're bisexual and that causes you to think whether or not you should be in a relationship with them, you need to do some. It doesn't make you homophobic. I'm not trying to say that you are homophobic if you think that, but think hard about why you're that. I
have a lot of bi friends who would say that makes someone homophobic. I don't know that I agree with that. Or not.
It might, right? Like, and I think it's a homophobic thing to say. I'm not gonna say that like you are homophobic if you say that, but I think it's a homophobic thing to say, and I think you should really think about why do you feel that way? Just why do you feel that way? Because there's no real reason.
There's no correlation between sexuality and being monogamous. Like, it's insane that he heard that and went,
None.
"Oh, wait a second, you're bisexual, therefore I don't know if you could be monogamous." Is insane.
But I think it really is that like even people who are relative, I'm talking about myself too. Like even if you're like a relatively enlightened person compared to the era we're living in, everyone still is a fucking caveman about the person that they're with. You know what I mean? Like there is always like some level of like possessiveness and insecurity. I feel like on all levels of it, even the people who are like not, running around saying stupid shit. There's some level of your brain that is like 4,000 years old. And I do think maybe that's what it is of like, I have to defend you from every different person in the world instead of have to, but like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't actually make sense when you say it out loud. Like you have to hear what you're saying and process it.
It comes across as incredibly insecure, and good luck with an NBA dancer. That's my point.
Period. Period. That is the T. You hear me? You hear me? For sure.
Word to nigga bird. The next couple. This is the nigga bird episode, by the way. We had
that is wow.
Next couple, we had Daniel and Taylor. Daniel, he was a dude who was there, and he was like, he's a short guy, and he was like, yeah, of course, I'm at a disadvantage in the dating world being short and all that. So I'm looking for someone on here who, values personality over that. I'm like, you're playing a dangerous game, dog. And I'm saying that as a short dude. Like this is why I wouldn't do a show like that, bro. Like all the women I've dealt with, I have like, seen them in face person to person, and they've seen what it is. Like, bro, like the height is a disqualifier for a lot of women. And you're playing a dangerous game going into this shit, hoping that, I just didn't see his logic there as a short dude. You know what I mean? Like, but to his credit, he did find a way to weave that shit in during the conversations that they were having. So, it wouldn't be a surprise there. But yeah, but there was some weird shit going on with him. Like we talked about how during the teaser of the season where someone was like, I feel like he's seen me before. And this was the couple there where Taylor feels like he followed her on Instagram before this shit because and because so many of the things that like she liked, like he would mention he liked, and she was like, wow, this is crazy. We're really like hitting it off. Like they had like a whole little thing about how much they love Taco Bell and shit. And you know, that was like on her Instagram and shit. So I don't know, bro. Taylor doesn't seem like all the way locked in with this shit now that she thinks that he might have been like spying on her through Instagram before this shit. So that's one of the very few interesting things about this season. We'll see how that shakes out.
That's really the only thing
on the other end. If you're on the other end, if you're on the other end of that, how would you feel?
Like if you're her,
yeah.
I think they all feel a little bit too like pure about the sanctity of the experiment for me.
That's
like,
always my favorite part when they start talking
would,
about the sanctity of the experiment.
And also like the things she's tripping about. She's like, the things that are in my Instagram bio are really, I like Taco Bell and it's faith and family. Like those are pretty
bland.
Like I love when you get kind of pretentious.
I don't know. Like, doesn't everyone have faith? Like maybe not faith, but doesn't everyone care about faith and family? Like what? Why are you trying to say that that's some like secret information that he was able to pull before?
I would say I think that's a great question by John, and I would just say like I think as men, it's just an inherently different feeling for like women don't like feeling like men are monitoring them or surveilling.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Understandably so.
And so I think going into the
that's
experiment, there's a clear boundary about like, and so it's this. So as you're realizing like, oh, he was kind of already outside of this. I think that's where I'm sympathetic to like the you know, having a negative reaction to that.
Yeah.
The internet has done some surface level digging and they found his Instagram. And so I've done.
So you're surveilling him.
So I'm surveilling him. And I gotta be honest. I think if this person followed you and you actually looked at their profile, you would remember seeing it. Because part of his bit is that he described in the pods is that he does personal Christmas cards every year, right? And they're very outlandish. Like I'm going to show you some of his Instagram posts. This is Christmas card 2023, where it says the caption, coming to you from the North Pole Penitentiary System. He like fully dresses up and is like doing a whole thing.
Also,
another
that's
one.
Really
that's unfunny as fuck.
He's in a kitchen covered in flour, like with food all over the counter. Like this is stuff that you would remember. I think he's in a bathtub with a fake beard dressed as Santa. Like if you were like, this person followed me, and sometimes if someone follows you, don't even look at their profile. But if you looked at it and you were like, you would remember who this was.
This makes me think it's not you being short. You're a fucking weirdo, bro. Like, yeah, short, it can be a disqualifier for a lot of women, but
like,
I don't fuck with it.
That's very weird. Weirdo is always a disqualifier, nigga.
He's
you
weird.
know what I'm saying? Like nobody fucks with that. And seeing that makes me think he could have been doing what she thought he was doing because she would. I think I've seen that. You would like remember that. Like that. This looks kind of familiar. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. In some way, you might not remember it directly, but you know, some way it feels like, yo, I've seen and felt this way before looking at this weird ass fucking photo.
I'm gonna give him a doom.
Hey, how you do that shit, dog?
Doom.
Bro, somebody calls lame ass. She calls them diddums. Like that's what she like. When I'm being get on her nerves. All right, diddums. You're a diddums, daddy. You know what I mean? And so
somebody you know, it's like Shakespeare is like every fourth word in every Shakespeare play is a word he invented. That's gonna be somebody by the time she's in high school, bro.
I don't know.
Between scogging and diddums, that's a couple of winners.
She hit me with a fucking zinger yesterday. I'm trying to sneak some gummy bears and shit. I'm in the pantry, and I'm thinking some gummy bears, and she's like, "Don't do it. You're gonna blow up like a balloon." Don't do it, daddy. You're gonna blow up like a balloon. I looked at Robin like, what the fuck, nigga? Today we was like I was changing shoulder and she came in there talking about a towel, right? I don't say towel, I say towel.
Yeah.
And she's like, towel. She's like, towel. I'm like, towel. And so she She goes, "Mommy, is he talking about this?" And points at the tiles in the bathroom. And I start crying. I'm like,
Dude, she's
she
frying.
she says, "Mommy, is he talking about this?" Like pointing it down like this at the tiles.
She's
I
at such a
started
young age to
crying.
already have the look to her mom. Like, can you believe this? She's at
What
such
the
a
fuck
young
wrong
age
with
to
this
have
nigga?
developed.
She said, she was like, I didn't know what she was saying until like my brother was like, she's saying towel, John. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wow, I'm country as fuck though.
Rather been holding that one in. Rather been thinking about that one.
So it was
Char
like,
makes fun of
anyway,
me all the time for saying theater because she does 3 syllables on theater, and I say theater.
Okay, I say
She makes fun of me about that all the time.
I say ambulance too. Like rather, it's like it's ambulance. Ambulance. nigga.
Ambulance is funny.
Okay, that one's funny.
I say ambulance.
Ambulance.
Yeah. I say
Yeah.
ambulance. I mean, that's probably what we say in St. Louis. Ambulance, nigga. You feel me? Ambulance is crazy. It feels like you're saying. It feels like you're saying the instead of the. Ambulance. An ambulance. The ambulance. You know what I mean? You don't say the ambulance. You say the ambulance. You know what I mean? Anyway, whatever.
Police, bro. Like whenever I have to say like police in a professional setting or something, I always have to catch myself because in like casual talk, I call them the police. You know
I
what
call
I'm
them the
saying?
police too.
Police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never even. Yeah. Police. Yeah. The police. Yeah. Well, I guess, bro. I just.
Did you hear that police car that went?
That shit.
That shit does not feel natural at all.
Them people.
Well, and that's all the couples. Worst season ever.
Is that really all of them? Holy
That's
shit.
it. That's it.
That's it, man. So what? So next episodes come out on Thursday.
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, man. I don't know. What do you? They did have a little bit of a cliffhanger. What do you think, Tyler? What is there drama ahead, bro, or is this you think it's just a dud season, basically?
It's just a dud, bro. I don't know.
We don't have to do this.
Yeah.
We're not legally required.
They got to throw some bogeys in there. They got to just
Right.
throw some crazy people in there, like to interrupt them in the middle of the day.
Outside the pods is where the sparks always, fly anyway. So I'm for sure going to give the next drop, a chance.
Same.
And then we show
reassess.
it's TBD from there.
Well, I would say that would line up on a good time to reassess. Fucking February 25th. So
Rumor has it that Chelsea from
Oh,
Love Is Blind, I
Joe.
don't know if you knew this, casted this season. I don't know if you guys remember Chelsea. Tyler, maybe you do. She dated Kwame.
Wait, she casted
Yeah, she works
this
for Love Is
season?
Blind now as a casting director, and like she had a huge hand in casting this season.
Oh.
Chelsea isn't the that's
Right?
not
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Yeah.
No, Chelsea's the one
Yeah.
who dated Kwame, who was the soccer player, black guy who didn't like being black.
Okay.
Yeah,
is
he
Oh,
was-
that I
y'all
heard
missed
about that nigga.
Okay, yeah,
You
y'all
told
heard
me
about it,
that.
dude.
Nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went on
there
there
to find
saying,
a white woman, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
He went on there and said basically, he was like, I don't want race to be like a disqualifier for me. I'm like, bro, your name is Kwame, dog. You gonna have to deal with that.
You're telling her you're an NBA dancer. Like that's revealing information, brother.
Like, yeah, bro, you are not a Tyler or a Mike or a John. You are a Kwame, dog.
That's
Like,
right.
but
And brother, if
Kwame's
you
a
were a
fire
white
name,
Kwame,
too.
if you were a
Yeah.
white Kwame, that would be some real news.
Hey, but if you was a white Kwame nigga, you might be that one. You might move. You feel me? Like, come on, man.
Hey, but we were talking
Moving through
about
life as a Kwame. Come on, G.
I don't mind revealing I did a really stupid fucking thing, which is Shar and I accidentally watched the first 3 episodes of the first season. We were sitting there the whole time, like the camera quality is so bad. Like what?
that
when you said that, I
2018
was
ass shit.
I was like, it looks like they filmed it in 1080p. I literally said that shit last night.
I was like, nigga, I thought like their clothes would say like, yo, this is not today, but it's Minneapolis. So like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
the way,
And it's
first
only
it's
5 years
Minneapolis,
ago,
but
so,
also
yeah.
like when we're watching the show, we're talking to each other as much as we're watching the show.
For
You know what I
sure, for
mean?
sure.
So like,
Yeah.
I just thought it was, But then we did, as a result, get to see Tyler's favorite couple in Love Is Blind history. What's their names again?
Lauren and Cameron.
Lauren
They
and
are the GOAT
Cameron.
couple, dog. Yeah.
Cameron thinking me, bro. I'm telling you, he was like, he heard an attractive black woman voice and proposed to her 40 seconds later. He was like, I'm good. And
If
she
I got
came
a
out and
chance
saw
to
him,
test,
had never dated a white dude before. Her dad is a Black Panther. She saw him and was like, all right, like I'll give it a whirl. But she literally said, John, she was like, I'm a black woman. I have full lips. I was a little nervous about how proportionally it would go. Like,
Hey,
when I
man.
used
No.
it.
I gotta see.
Hey, man.
What?
Yeah, they're
Hey, man.
legitimate concerns. They are still together to this day. Like I told you, that's the GOAT couple,
Oh,
bro. That's
wow.
the standard, man.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! Look at this white man.
Bro, we were fucking. I would like, because as Sharp like felt for it was like, I can't like just to be surprised by it in that way. Especially she was talking about like she's like her, like I said, her dad's a Black Panther, and so it's like, oh, you walk out there and there's a white, but like I don't know how you don't get that info one way or another. You know what I mean?
I thought you could kind of get that, but like, maybe he proposed so quick before she realized it. Like,
Oh,
I ain't gonna.
she was smitten. She was like, Cameron, I think I love you. Like
yeah,
she's the one who came
on
out
like
and said
the
that
second
shit.
time they talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it was some real like.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story, dog. Like I said, that's the GOAT Love Is Blind couple right
The
there.
producers
That's
of that
so
show fucking
cute.
they creamed themselves at that. Just like, this is exactly what we were looking for.
Yes.
Like, Love is Blind. Like,
I had the same reaction, John. Just
Creamed is crazy.
to cream, to cream
But also,
themselves.
cream can go both
To
ways.
cream
You know what I
themselves.
mean? It's
that's
like,
why, yeah,
you
that's
know
what I'm
what I
saying.
like,
Nick
you know what I
Lachey
mean?
and his wife.
It's all inclusive. It's
You
gender
know
inclusive.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Did you see the tweet that went around this week? That
it's gender
was
neutral. You know what I mean?
it was
Like,
from Anaconda, and it was the clip of the Anaconda after it had been lit on fire, and someone tweeted that with 1 week after you thought she was a creamer.
Come on,
hey,
The worst shit I ever saw. Sorry. I apologize, Jenkins to those listeners.
that wasn't worse. That was
God.
anyway.
All right. So Thursday we're talking Court of Gold.
Court of Gold. It's officially out today. The Olympic basketball doc. on
Hell
Netflix.
yeah,
It is.
brother.
And the clip was the KD clip was recirculating on Twitter a lot yesterday or today about him crying.
I
And
think we're
it's-
gonna have a really good conversation about that.
It's such a good documentary, and it's obviously was such a cool moment of this past summer. And
It's
I'm
an
just-
interesting juxtaposition with the All-Star game stuff. And I'm glad that we'll have stuff to talk about with basketball that we all like loved and are happy about. But it was interesting, like Monday, Tuesday, as that KD clip was going around, there was so much frustration from people about the All-Star game, you know, legitimate, not legitimate, whatever else. But then it was just a lot of people like, look at how much he loves basketball. There has to be a way to harness that.
But
You know, he's
and
literally
also,
crying
yeah.
about being on
Yeah.
the Olympic team. And then, you know, but then he's tweeting like, the All-Star game is fucked up because of the fans. Y'all are going to talk shit on everything. You enjoy complaining about the NBA more than you enjoy watching it. I don't even necessarily think he's wrong about all that.
I don't think
about
he's
that with a
wrong
lot of
either.
basketball
I don't think
fans.
he's wrong. I don't
But
think
yeah,
he's
no,
wrong.
I'm looking forward to that conversation for sure.
Also,
I sure have got goosebumps watching
Yeah,
some of those moments
yeah.
again. The Serbia game, I was like, damn, that was sick.
Yeah. Very excited. All right.
What you gonna say, John?
I was just saying it's dope to see his perspective, like that he has full perspective, understanding. Like he was talking about like families bringing their kids and stuff, like spending their money to come. Like, I don't know, that's I don't. These are things that you wonder if NBA players think, and he's crying about them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
All right, that's all the time we got. We'll be back on Thursday talking Court of Gold. Even if you've not watched the documentary, I think you'll enjoy our conversation about it. We'll for sure kind of like key people in on what some of the moments were from it. Obviously, I assume everyone listening to this watched the Olympics anyway, but we'll see y'all on Thursday. Bye.
Bye.